C2, Exponentials and Logarithms, example 15. So in part A of this question, we've got a single log. It's the log of a product, and we know using rule 1 of our laws of logarithms that we can break a product down, log AB, into log A plus log B. So we can break that down to log to the base 2 of 16 plus log to the base 2 of x. Now log to the base 2 of x we know is equal to a. It tells us that in the question. With log to the base 2 of 16, if we can write 16, or rewrite 16 in terms of powers, which we can write 16 as 2 to the power 4. And rule 3 here says that we can bring the power to the front, so we've got 4 log to the base 2 of 2 plus a. Now we need to give our answer in terms of a, so the question's asking us to simplify and write our answer in terms of a. If you have a look at rule 4 here, log to the base a of a is equal to 1, so log to the base 2 of 2, that's equal to 1. We've got 4 multiplied by 1 plus a. That can be written as 4 plus a. So our final answer is just in terms of a. On part B, again, we're just using the laws of logs. We need to decide which rule we're using. In this case, it's dividing, and we can break down a single log where it's divided by using subtraction. So we can rewrite that as log to the base 2 of x to the power 4 minus log to the base 2 of 2. So that's just using this rule 2 here. And we know by rule 3 we can bring the power to the front, and we've got a log, so 4 log to the base 2 of x minus log to the base 2 of 2. Now log to the base 2 of x we know in the question is equal to a, so we've got 4a, and this is using rule 4 again. Log to the base 2 of 2 is just equal to 1. So in terms of a, our final answer is just 4a minus 1. Now in part C, it looks a little bit more complicated, but you'll probably notice, and the key word in the question here, hence, often means there's a link to previous parts of the question. So you should be able to use previous parts of the question to make it easier to solve. So log to the base 2 of 16x, we've already written that as 4 plus a. So this here, we've actually said is 4 plus a. Now this part here is what we've worked out in B, or we've rewritten in terms of a, and in part B we've said that that can be written as 4a minus 1. And that's all equal to a half. So it's just replacing these in part C with our answers for A and B. Because looking at that, it's a lot easier to solve. You just have to be careful with the brackets, with these signs, so that's why I've kept this in brackets here. So we've got 4 plus a minus 4a, minus times a minus, so that would become plus 1 is equal to a half. So if we collect our a terms, we've got a minus 4a, which is minus 3a. 4 plus 1 is 5, and that's equal to a half. I'm going to make 3a positive by bringing it over to the right hand side, so a half plus 3a, and then subtract a half from both sides, so you end up with 4.5 is equal to 3a. If we rewrite that as a top heavy fraction, so 9 over 2 is equal to 3a, and then we need to divide both sides by 3. Now 9 over 2 divided by 3, going back to your fractions work from GCSE, if we're dividing, we change it to a times and flip the second fraction. So 9 over 2 times by a third, 9 times 1, 9, 2 times 3 is 6, so A is 9 over 6, which will simplify to 3 over 2. Now, is that our final answer? Let's just have a look at the question again. Our question was in terms of x, so we want to solve and find out what x is. So we're not quite done yet because that's we've got an answer which is for a. If we go right back to the start of the question, we know log to the base 2 of x is equal to a. So we've got something that relates x and a. So we've got an equation there which includes x and a, and we've just worked out that a is 3 over 2, so log to the base 2 of x is equal to 3 over 2. Now it's then spotting this format here, this form. On the very first page of your booklet, we know that if we've got something in log form, log to the base a of c is equal to b. We can rewrite that in index form as a to the power b equals c. So we can rewrite this as 2 to the power 3 over 2 is equal to x. So that's using the very first rule or law of logs that you came across right at the start of the chapter. So we just need to work out 2 to the power 3 over 2. Now, obviously you have your calculator at C2, but if you also remember when we've got a power as a fraction, if you remember raise over root, 2 to the power 3, so raise it to the power 3, and then root it to the power 2, so square root it. So we've got square root of 2 cubed, which is the square root of 8, which can be simplified as root 4 times root 2. So our final answer for x is 2 root 2. Now, I think in the question it asked us to leave our answer in a third form, so we've fully simplified for 4 marks.